Here's this afternoon's starting lineup. Twins take on the Miami Marlins. Leading off at second base, it'll be D. Gordon. Batting second, left fielder Christian Yelich. Marcell Ozuna will be in center field. He'll bat third. Batting fourth, first baseman Justin Bour. Reed Johnson will DH. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth at shortstop, Adeiny Echeverria. Jeff Mathis will catch. He'll bat seventh. Don Kelly in right field bats eighth. And at third base, batting ninth, Donovan Solano. Pitching for the Marlins here this afternoon. 13-11 last year between Houston and Miami. Will be right-hander Jared Cozart. Here's a starting lineup for your Minnesota Twins. It'll be Brian Dozier leading off, playing second base. Shane Robinson in left field. He'll bat second. Joe Mauer at first base bats third. Batting fourth, the DH, Kenny Vargas. Torrey Hunter in right field bats fifth. Miguel Sano at third base batting sixth. Batting seventh, shortstop Eduardo Escobar. Josmil Pinto gets his first start behind the plate. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth, playing center field, will be Aaron Hicks. Pitching for Minnesota will be right-hander Phil Hughes. Umpires, it'll be Marvin Hudson calling balls and strikes. Jeff Kellogg at first base. Fielding Colbreth, the umpire at second base. And Tim Timmons, the umpire at third base. Pinto's throw down to second. Gordon heading to the batter's box. And to get you started, here's Corey Probus.
Hi, Danny. Thank you. Second outing here in the spring for Phil Hughes, a 16-game winner a year ago in his Grapefruit League opener. Hughes, inning plus against the Red Sox back on March 7th. No runs on 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And he will see Gordon, Yelich, and Ozuna. 3 starters for the Marlins that will be on Mike Redmond's team here in 2015. Gordon coming off an all-star campaign with the Dodgers, and he takes a fastball strike. And with that, we are underway here at the CenturyLink Sport Complex on a warm, windy afternoon here in Southwest Florida. Now Hughes deals 0-1. Fastball, thigh-high, strike 2 called on Gordon. Was acquired in December from the Dodgers. Brings a ton of speed. Stole 64 bases last year with L.A. On-base percentage around .330 a year ago. And now the 0-2 is tapped foul. D's younger brother, Nick, minor league side with the Twins. First-round pick a year ago. Both sons of Flash Tom Gordon. And the 0-2 curveball down and in. And there's ball 1. Defensively behind Hughes, Shane Robinson's in left field. Aaron Hicks in center, Torrey Hunter in right. And now the 1-2 swing and a miss. He got him. A fastball. And Gordon swings on top of it. He is gone. 1 up, 1 down. Bases empty for Christian Yelich. Off to a nice start this spring, 5 for 11. And he will be one of the corner outfielders this year for the Marlins. And Danny, you saw Mike Redmond on the field before the game today, expecting even more improvement for his team in 2015.
77 games they won last year, and they look to improve on that. And yes, they've added, you had mentioned D. Gordon, kind of a table setter in the 64 stolen bases. So they've got a guy at the top of the order who's not afraid to run, and he should be that table setter for a Goodwin and Stanton to drive in.
Yelich 9 home runs last year. He figures to be the starting left fielder. Marcell Ozuna in center and Giancarlo Stanton in right. As Hughes missed the inside corner with that moving fastball at 92. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was a very strong outfield last year in all areas, offensively, defensively. And they're back with Miami. And the 1-1 from Phil is inside and low, ball 2. What about Hughes today, Danny? We saw his first outing against the Red Sox, expecting some more pitches, some more innings out of Hughes here this afternoon.
I think he should go a little bit deeper in this ball game, and he should kind of build on what he did last time out.
Now the 2-1 is sent foul off the screen back behind the plate.
Right now we're seeing all that just the cut fastball, which is kind of the MO for Phil Hughes. 1 breaking ball so far. So I look for him just to come out and do what he does best, and that is attack the strike zone.
Josmil Pinto, his first start behind the plate this spring. He did play yesterday DHing. As the Twins played here against Tampa Bay. 2-2 on Yelich, no score. And the pitch, he got him. Strike 3 called. Fastball at 93, moving away, and Yelich strikes out. So 2 batters, 2 punch-outs for Hughes. Bases empty for the center fielder, Marcell Ozuna.
When we talk about Hughes and being basically just a fastball pitcher, but really He's a two-pitch fastball pitcher. He's got the four-seamer that he can elevate a little bit, a little higher velocity, and then he has that cut fastball. And it has a little bit of late movement right there. That just caught the outside corner.
He was better against lefties than he was against righties last year. Lefties hit in the upper 240s. Righties about 290. Speaking of righties, here is one right now. Marcell Ozuna, 23 home runs last year. And now the 1-0. There's a fastball. Moving away at 93. Called a strike. Hughes walked a batter in his Grapefruit League opener. And the 1-1 is poked foul, lofted back behind the plate, 1-2. Set a record last year with his strikeout to walk ratio. For his 16 wins a year ago, he walked a total of 16 batters all season long. Can he strike out the side? He's 1-2 on Ozuna. Pinto sending signs. Hughes from the windup, a long look, and now time call. Now he's ready. And a 1-2. He got him. Strike three call. Two-seam fastball, and Ozuna was frozen. Hughes strikes out the side. Speaking of pitching, we'll talk with Ervin Santana coming up next. Hughes a 1-2-3 first. Twins to bat when we come back on your home for Twins baseball. And Joe Mauer facing Jared Kozar, the Marlins starting pitcher today, and Dozier takes a pitch down low, ball one. Corey and Danny upstairs. We're joined now by Twins pitcher Ervin Santana from inside the Twins third base dugout. And the 1-0 pitch is popped up foul behind the plate. Ervin will make his second spring training start tomorrow in Bradenton against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But Ervin, thanks for your time. You threw a few days back against Baltimore. You got one start in. How'd that feel afterwards?
I feel very good. Everything is how I want it. You know, I keep the ball down for the most part and work a little bit more in the off-speed.
Fastball, letter high, strike call, moving back inside on Dozier, 1-2. Did you throw everything in that start? Fastball, that great slider, and also mix in a few changeups?
Yes, I did. Even righty and lefty. I just throw everything I got.
Dozier so far this spring, 5 for 8. He's knocked in a run coming off a 23 home run season. Math is sending signs. He'll be the backup catcher in Miami, and Dozier nearly got hit. Fastball moved him off the plate, 2-2.
Hey, Ervin, the other day when you were out here, you pitched kind of an easy 1-2, just two basic innings, and then you went down into the bullpen. Was that by design, or did you want to just throw some more?
No, they told me to go to the bullpen to finish 10 more pitches that I had left for complete 30 pitches, and then I just went down there and then throw fastball and two seamers.
Dozier sends one foul out of play.
Is there so many innings that Ervin Santana would like to get in spring training? Have you always had a number of innings that you like to pitch before you break camp?
I don't think so. I don't. I just go with everything they say, and then I don't try to do too much, and then I just trying to get my work done, and that's it.
As Dozier taps one foul off the screen. It was interesting when we asked for you to join us today. You wanted to do so in the first inning because as soon as you're done here, you're going to go to the bullpen, not throw, but kind of coach. Is that accurate?
I go there, and then talk to a few of the guys there, and then, if they have any question and all that, I just open mind to respond to any question they have and all that. So
2-2 on Dozier, no score, just underway. Twins batting against Jared Cozart. And now the 2-2 in the dirt, ball 3. What has been the most commonly asked question from a younger pitcher to you, whether it's been in the bullpen or in the locker room over the last few weeks, Urban?
How you throw your slider.
And what's the answer?
I just show the grip. I just don't trying to do too much. Just throw like a fastball.
3-2 on Dozier. Robinson on deck. And now the payoff, another foul. Fastball at 94 off the screen.
Irvin, when you share that pitch with somebody, do you kind of watch them to see if they can kind of master it a little bit? Or when they work on it maybe in the bullpen, will you kind of mentor them?
Well, first of all, I would like for them to just start playing catch with it.
Yep.
And then throw a little bit long toss, and then from the line to second base.
Dozier swings and crushes one to left down the line, hooking in the corner, and that ball's going to be gone off the foul pole. A lengthy battle between Cozart and Dozier just got a tomahawking one off the foul pole and left. His first homer this spring, second RBI. Leadoff shot for Dozier, 1-0 Twins.
Well, we saw Dozier do a lot of that last year, especially the first half of the season, that leadoff spot. Nice little cushion for Phil Hughes. Get that one run in the bottom half of the first inning.
Urban, that was about a 9-10 pitch at bat. As a pitcher, do you know when that at bat lengthens that maybe the batter has the advantage in that situation?
It's tough. It's tough because he saw too many pitches, and then now the batter had the ability to make an adjustment. So it's tough as a pitcher to be in that kind of situation.
Brian Dozier, 4 career leadoff home runs. And the last one here in the opening inning. Here is Shane Robinson batting, non-roster invitee in left field today. Visiting with Ervin Santana, who will make his second start tomorrow. I saw you have that bright red glove. Has that been a staple that you've had for a while?
Yes, red glove. Yes, I love red. And it's one of my favorite colors.
Strike called 2-1. Tell us about the nickname Magic. And it just kind of stems from, I understand you love playing basketball and were a pretty good basketball player?
I used to play basketball more than baseball. I mean, basketball was the thing for me. And then I was growing up playing basketball and then watching Irvin Magic Johnson and Michael Jordans and all that playing basketball. And then we're just trying to imitate what they did. And then when I was growing up, my dad was like, no more basketball for you. Let's go and push you on baseball.
2-2 on Robinson. Mauer on deck. Here comes Cozart, and Robinson sends a fastball foul against the screen.
Hey, you've carved out a pretty good niche as a baseball player, but your thoughts going into the season, was it easy for you to sign with the Minnesota Twins in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it was not many teams involved, so, and then I'm a little bit familiar with the East Coast center, with the center, and then I like this division.
Yeah, you pitched with Kansas City not too long ago. What about pitching in the cooler climate, the opening month, really 2 months of the season? Is that an issue for you?
I don't think so, because when you're on the mound, you don't thinking about it, When you on bench,
that's what it's called.
That's where the problems begin,
Robinson says one foul, so another lengthy battle already. Cozart 16 pitches in. Is that to retire a man? Dozier leadoff home run, 3-2 on Robinson. Twins have a new pitching coach. What can you tell us about Neil Allen, your conversations with him as you guys begin to work together?
Yeah, it's very good. He's been very good, very patient with us. You know, we're just trying to be in the same page. And then just listen to him a lot because he's just coming from a good team, Tampa Bay, and then now he's just trying to bring everything he learned over there to here.
Robinson couldn't check his swing at a moving fastball at 96, so he strikes out. 8-pitch at bat for Robinson. He is out number 1, and that'll bring up Joe Mauer. Irvin, a moment ago you mentioned the division. You like pitching in the division. As you look ahead at what the Central Division may be, Tigers have won the division now forever. Royals coming off a pennant-winning season. White Sox have gotten better. Indians added a good bat in Brandon Moss. What do you just take of the Central Division, how it might play out this year?
Well, we just, as a pitcher, we just have to be patient. You know, it's going to be a long season, and then we just have to play one game at a time, and then just trying to win series. That's the key for us.
Breaking ball strike on Mauer at the 0-1 with the shift on somewhat. Shortstop Echeverria playing Mauer up the middle, still defending left of second base. Fastball strike 2, 0-2 on Mauer. Big Kenny Vargas on deck.
Irvin, posible yo quiero presidente.
Hey, aquí hay mucha presidente, so avísame y yo te busco una presidente.
Sí,
0-2 on Mauer. And the pitch is sent foul.
After the game.
Much better.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially with this type of weather right now.
Yes.
You need one. You need one.
As Irvin is speaking with us, he's resting his right arm on a bat.
Yes, Kenny Vargas bat.
Oh.
Big boy bat.
What do you think of those two? Watching Vargas and Sano take BP, and you're out there in the outfield. What do you make of that group?
Oh, man. It's incredible to see those two guys done.
Mauer strikes out swinging down and in. Fastball at 95 from Cozart.
Irvin, do they remind you of anybody that maybe you have either played with on or played against?
They remind me Mark Trumbo.
Oh, yeah.
They don't leave any ball in the ballpark. They just out. You know, every single ball.
You know, they're even fun to watch during batting practice. And I think that it's special to watch those guys come down there and eat and take BP.
Yeah, it is. It is very fun.
Here is Big Kenny, 9 home runs last year. He's homered once already this spring. Twins lead 1-0. Bases empty, 2 outs. Vargas batting left-handed. And a fastball misses over but low, ball 1. Among the younger, I guess, pitchers the Twins have in camp is Jose Barrios, one of the Twins' highly touted prospects. Have you had a chance to visit with him much, and what do you make of his game so far?
He's very talented guy, you know, and he's very powerful guy. And he's very intelligent. So we've been playing catch lately, and then you know, we talk all the time, and then just trying to help him, you know.
Change up on Vargas, and he misses it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leadoff home run, Brian Dozier. Should Vargas reach, Torrey Hunter would bat next. And the pitch, Vargas swings and misses. Sinking fastball that time at 91. It's 1-2. Has he been the guy that's kind of picked your brain the most of some of the younger arms the Twins have in camp?
For right now, yeah. Yeah, he's one of the guys. He's going to be in the big leagues very soon. He got the talent, the ability to pitch in and out, and then he's very intelligent.
Solano playing off the line at third. The 1-2 is grounded weakly up the first base line. Charging stays fair. Picked on the grass by the pitcher. Cozart throws out Vargas to end the inning. Urban, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Urban Santana joining us from the Twins dugout. Leadoff shot, Brian Dozier. We've played 1. It now reads Twins 1, Marlins nothing on your home for Twins baseball. Gordon swinging, Yelich and Ozuna looking. Justin Bour, left-handed batting first baseman, steps in for the Marlins, and he takes a fastball strike called 0-1. Bour limited time with Miami last year, 39 games and 1 home run. And the 0-1. Checked his swing at a high fastball. The appeal did not go. And 1 ball, 1 strike. When the regular season begins, Miami will have a new first baseman, Mike Morse. Won a world championship last year with the Giants. He will be Miami's first baseman. Swing and a miss. Big cut. Pitch up with the zone 1-2. It really is kind of a new look infield. Outside of Echeverria at short, who was a finalist for a Gold Glove. Gordon at second base, Morse at first, Martin Prado at third base. The 1-2 is outside and high, 2-2. I think hopefully for Miami, and I think all of baseball, come June, possibly July, Jose Fernandez will be back. Curveball is poked foul back behind the plate. Stays 2-2. Fernandez coming off Tommy John. Really one of the bright, talented young arms in this game. Henderson Alvarez perhaps could be Miami's opening day starter with Matt Latos. Pitching today, Cozart. And the 2-2 is swinging a foul back.
Another veteran that they got in there, Dan Herron.
Yeah. So while Miami has improved on paper, I think we agree that Washington's going to be the team to beat in that NL East.
Yeah, no question about it. But don't forget, Miami was in it pretty much all season till the end.
Pitch outside, 3-2.
With that being said, I think it's going to come down to the pitching. And don't forget, those guys ran out a guy named Brad Penny, trying to get some starts out of him. And also Randy Wolf was still around pitching.
The 3-2 is lined to right, chasing in Hunter. Watches that one land in front for a base hit. So Justin Bour now 4 for 10 here in the spring. Leadoff single, and that'll bring up Reed Johnson back with Miami in 2015. Non-roster invitee. A year ago in South Florida, Johnson hit .235, a couple home runs. Marlins in the black uniform tops, gray pant. Black cap, black bill. Twins today in the home whites. Twins on the front in blue, trimmed in gold. Blue cap, blue bill. As Mauer holds Bour on at first base. Twins lead 1-0. Nobody out. A swing and a foul back for Johnson. Has been around. Blue Jay, Cubs.
We were talking about him when I was filling out my lineup card. I go, Ray Johnson still there? And he said, oh, yeah. And then I had talked to you about, I remember one of the highlight reels, and he made a fantastic catch. And it's funny that you recall that because you had the call.
I did, yeah. It was 2008. 2008, Cubs were playing in Washington as Johnson swings and misses 0-2 and a fastball moving down and in. It was in D.C. Felipe Lopez was batting, switch-hitting infielder for Washington. Ryan Dempster was pitching. And so Lopez was batting left-handed. Johnson was playing in center field, but he was shading Lopez out to right center. And Lopez crushed one deep in the alley in left center field. Here's the 0-2. Just missed down and inside at 87. And now it's 1-2. And Johnson sprinting, diving head first. And just beyond the fence in left center field is the visiting bullpen at Nationals Park. In this case, Kerry Wood was in the bullpen, seated in a chair, just kind of watching the game through a fence. And here came a flying, diving Reed Johnson. And the 1-2 curveball in the dirt. Johnson did not chase it. And now it's even 2-2. Johnson left his feet right at the edge of the warning track. He caught it, full extension diving. He caught it, and then he kind of skidded forward, Danny, and his cap hit the base of that fence in left center field, and the bill was pointed right up to the sky like a volleyball player. 1-0 Twins in the second. And the 2-2 is poked foul out of play down the right side. Amazing catch.
Yeah, it was. And this guy's been in some big games, and I think that he has clutched up with not only nice defensive catches, but also clutch base hits. Still playing.
Johnson now 38 years old, 2 for 9 with an RBI here in the spring. Hughes is at 27 pitches. Borer at first. And the 2-2 ground ball to short might be two. Glove by Escobar. Second one. Dozier's relay is not in time. Now Johnson, 38, hustling up that first base line. Escobar went to his right. Loved it. Good feed to Dozier, but Johnson beat the return throw. Fielder's choice. Play goes 6-4 at second base. Jeff Kellogg on that call at first base. Close play. Johnson called safe.
Ball wasn't hit that hard off the end of the bat a little bit. Johnson got out of the box very well. And Escobar kind of a few steps to his right, but then waited for the ball. And then nice turn by Dozier at second.
Shortstop Echeverria batting. Fastball strike call. The Twins start the home portion of the 2015 campaign against Kansas City on April 13th. All fans pick up a blue Twins hoodie sweatshirt courtesy of Northland Ford dealers. Get out of the winter and get ready for baseball back at Target Field. Get your tickets right now at twinsbaseball.com. As Echeverria sends one foul that sends a bird flying away that was stationed atop the screen behind the plate. 0-2. Echeverria back at short today. Missed about a week with a right shoulder setback. Nothing serious. It was 2 at-bats all spring long until today. Good glove at short. Hit .276 a year ago. 1-0 Twins in the second. Johnson at first, 1 out. And the 0-2 curve in the dirt, knocked down by Pinto. Well, Danny, we've seen Herman, we've seen Fryer getting our first look defensively at Josmil Pinto today, a guy competing with the prior 2 to back up Suzuki this year.
You know, and I'm not sure it's so much game calling for Josmil here today. More or less get him some at-bats, but also right there, runner on base, ball in the dirt, kept it in front of him.
And the 1-2 line to left down the line. That's a base hit, extra bases, no doubt, as it bangs off the grass and now ricochets off the wall. To third holding, Johnson relay throw comes back into Dozier on a double from Echeverria. So second and third, 1 out. And now Jeff Mathis, backup catcher to Jared Saltalamacchia with Miami.
Now we're talking about Josmil Pinto and getting his work on and trying to block the ball, but also, you know, people forget spring training also designed a lot for the third base coach, and in this case, Brett Butler, former Arizona Diamondback, now coach with the Marlins. He had a decision to make there, and I like the position he got in, and that was down the line a little bit, and it was pretty much reading the ball coming back in from the infield, saw that it was on target, and then that made it easy for him to go ahead and hold the runner, Reed Johnson, up at third base.
2 on, 1 out for Mathis, who sends one foul off Pinto behind the plate. 0-1. So Robinson in left field today, giving chase on that line drive double for Echeverria. Following Hughes today, we'll see Mike Pelfrey, Brian Dunsing, Blaine Boyer. Others scheduled to throw: Aaron Thompson, Mark Hamburger, Tyler Duffy, Jason Wheeler, and Adrian Salcedo. And the 0-1, a swing and a pop-up foul right side. Mauer, sunglasses on, gives chase at the dugout, but has no play as that ball drops about 4 rows in. And speaking of Mauer, we heard from Irvin Santana in the first inning. Joe will join us later on today. Also in a bit, we're going to be joined by Nancy McPhee, Lee County Visitor and Convention Bureau's food expert. We'll talk about some of the dining options down here in beautiful Southwest Florida. If you're going to be coming down here shortly to take in some baseball, also some great grub as well. 2 strikes, breaking ball, check swing. They appealed, did not go. 1-2 on Mathis.
Well, I thought Mathis was going to stick around for a number of years. He started off, really kind of made a name for himself with the Angels, and then kind of shipped off, and I'm not sure if he even put a Toronto Blue Jays jersey on.
The 1-2 is cracked to left and deep. Robinson will turn that ball to the berm and gone. 3-run homer for Jeff Mathis. 2 for 6 entering play today. Now 3 for 7 homers. Knocks in 3. 1 swing of the bat. The Twins' lead is gone. 3-1 Miami.
64 ball games last year with Miami and just hit 200 with 2 home runs. But that's his wheelhouse right there, down and in.
Looking at the replay, really dropped the barrel down. Pitch maybe knee high, slightly below the front left knee, and Mathis went down and golfed that one to the berm in left field. 3-1 Miami. Bases empty, one out. As Hughes misses down low to Don Kelly, longtime Detroit Tiger, now non-roster invitee with the Marlins in 2015. And the 1-0 is a fastball low and away, ball 2. Kelly, one of many competing for what might become just one extra utility spot in Mike Redmond's bench, and the 2-0 is inside. Ball 3. Donovan Solano is at third base today. He's competing for that spot. Reed Briniak. Jordani Valdespin, formerly with the Mets. Scott Sizemore, all trying to win that job. And now a 4-pitch walk to Don Kelly. And he was kind of staring down a bit towards Marvin Hudson behind the plate. So this will bring out Neil Allen, Twins pitching coach, for a chat. It was rare to see Hughes walk anybody, let alone a 4-pitch walk last year.
Showing a little of emotion right there, and like you said, staring at home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, and sure enough, Neil Allen recognizes that. Let me go out here and talk to him, calm him down a little bit. You know, sometimes when pitchers don't think they're getting a call, sometimes their emotion can play a factor, and I think that's one thing that Neil Allen will bring, be able to go out there and kind of calm somebody down.
Well, the Twins have activated their bullpen, a righty and a lefty up. Hughes is now at 40 pitches. 3-1 Miami. In the second, Donovan Solano at third base defensively takes ball 1 down and in.
Going back to Don Kelly, you talked about battling for that utility role. You know, Don Kelly was one of those super utility guys with the Detroit Tigers. 95 games last year, but that guy played everywhere. In left, center, right, first base, third base.
Runner goes, and the 1-0 is sent foul off the screen. Wasn't it Don Kelly last year that in left field he took a home run away from Kurt Suzuki at Comerica Park? He went up at the top of the barrier in left, and it looked like Suzuki had a first or second inning home run, and Kelly made a fine play.
You know, he's a guy that I think that if you show up every day, you know, you're going to appreciate what he does or what he brings to a ball club. But if you just show up for 3 days to scout him, nothing's going to pop out.
1-1 line foul. This one past the first base dugout. There's the fans in the second, third row right behind the Miami dugout, and saw the ball hit maybe off some concrete or the railing, and everybody appears to be okay down there. Hughes struck out the side in the first. Marlins have 3 and 1 on, 1 out as he checks on Kelly back in with the dive. Well, Kelly always seemed to be one of Jim Leland's favorites.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. That guy, Leland had his guy, and that was it. Kelly. Leland's gone. Kelly's gone.
And the 1-2 in the dirt, and that one ricochets off the shin guard of Pinto. And will end up near the Miami dugout, so down to second base goes Kelly.
Oh, we're talking about Hosmeo, runner on base, kind of getting in position, and right there, the ball really kind of bounced out in front of home plate. Tough for him to keep that ball in front of him, a little bit late in sliding over, and that got him up in the right shoulder, high on the right shoulder. Kicked over to the dugout of the Marlins.
Pelfrey, the righty, warming. Looks like Jason Wheeler, the lefty, also warming for the Twins. And the 2-2 sent in the air softly back of first. Mauer out chasing foul ground, makes a two-handed grab over his left shoulder, and Solano is out number 2. So holding at second base is Kelly, and Molitor is out. Hughes at 45 pitches will be done for the day. So Hughes was hoping to go deeper into this ball game, but he is done, inning and 2/3, still responsible for the runner at second base, Don Kelly. D. Gordon due up when we come back. Jason Wheeler coming into pitch for the Twins. Marlins batting, leading 3-1. This top half of the second continues next on your home for Twins baseball.
First.
Twins is left-hander Jason Wheeler. 24 years old, 6'6", 255, added to the 40-man roster over the winter. Has a chance to begin his season at Double-A for Doug Mankiewicz in Chattanooga. Spent some time at Double-A New Britain last year. 12 starts, solid ERA 2.78. Wheeler's arsenal includes a fastball, slider, change, and cutter. When he got to Double-A last year, report on Wheeler is that he really improved using his off-speed pitches more often. And let's see what he does here facing a lefty in D. Gordon. Runner at second base, 2 outs. Hughes done for the day, 45 pitches for now, inning and 2/3, 3 runs earned. A walk, struck out 3, but is responsible for Kelly at second base. Gordon struck out his first time. Wheeler works off the third base side. Miguel Sano at third base defensively, pounds his mitt, gets ready. And with 2 outs, Gordon takes a pitch at the knees for a strike. Speaking of off-speed pitches, that's what Gordon just saw right there. From the stretch, Wheeler's 0-1. Breaking ball line to center, base hit center field. Kelly rounding third, heading home. Here's the throw from center in for mix. It's cut off by Sano. And Kelly slides in safely. 2-out RBI single for Gordon. And Miami takes a 4-1 lead.
When you talk about Wheeler and the off-speed pitch, he doubled up on the breaking ball there, and D. Gordon too good. You can fool me once, not twice. Went right back up the middle. But also big in that inning was that wild pitch charge to Hughes as well.
And that allowed Kelly to take second base, found himself in scoring position. And now Gordon knocks him in. 4-1 Miami.
Now you got a guy that can run. 64 stolen bases last year at first.
Has stolen 3 already this spring. And with 2 outs, here is Christian Yelich batting. Another lefty-lefty matchup. And the fastball is in for a strike at 88 miles an hour. Yelich will likely bat in front of Giancarlo Stanton this year. Strike 2 call, back-to-back fastballs from Wheeler. Now, Redmond has toyed around with the idea, at least in discussion, of batting Yelich third and Stanton fourth, but when the regulars have been in there, Stanton, for the time being, has been batting third, but Yelich hitting in that 2 spot. 4-1 Miami. Gordon at first as Wheeler checks on the runner.
They got a new one now they can mix in there. That's Michael Morris, another power guy that is a threat in the batter's box. So, to me, with Gordon, they've added some speed. Not so much on his defense, but they've added some pop. Combination of speed and power.
Now the 0-2 in the dirt. Nice block that time by Pinto. Moving to his left. Smothering that ball. No chance for Gordon to advance.
When you're a catcher in Holtzmill's case, I think when you put a sign down and you know it's going to be that breaking ball, you're ahead in the count, no 0-2. You kind of want him to waste a pitch, so you anticipate having him throw that ball in the dirt.
Here's the 1-2, checking a fastball that came inside, and he went around. The appeal to third, and Tim Timmons rings up Yelich to end the inning. But the Marlins bat 8, scoring 4 runs and leaving 1. Inning and a half completed. Now reads Miami 4, Twins 1 on your home for Twins baseball. Torrey Hunter batting here at the home second. Twins now trailing 4-1. It's a pitch outside from Jared Kozar. Gave up a home run to Brian Dozier in the first, but that's it. And Hunter lines a base hit to right. Opposite field line drive knock into right field. And Torrey now 4 for 10 here in the spring. Twins put their leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Here comes big Miguel Sano. He's 1 for 5 thus far in the spring with a home run. And that was a big home run into the wind in Bradenton a couple days back.
I like what he said about it. He goes, I was looking for a pitch location, got it, and he did something with it. That's impressive. A lot of guys, especially the young players, they can sit and look for a pitch, get it, and they usually foul it off.
Hunter leads. Twins are down 3 here in the second from the stretch, and the fastball runs outside, ball 1.
We were talking earlier with Irvin Santana. He was talking about the young players in Sano and Vargas. And one thing that pops out to me is their maturity when they're in the batter's box and how well they handle themselves. They don't look like young players, inexperienced players.
And the 1-0 is outside again, ball 2. You know, Sano was out all of last year with the Tommy John. Oftentimes, you know, after a pitcher gets injured, you say, okay, where are they at baseball-wise, the speed of the game, with their routine? When a hitter misses that much time, what concerns would you have?
Well, I don't think there's that many. We've already seen the defensive plays that he's made. Yes, he's backed up, made an error, and then also we saw him the slow roller, but I don't think the bat goes away. I think that you can keep your legs, the majority of your body in shape, Corey, in that, yes, the injury was to my elbow, but there's other baseball skills and drills that I can do to keep myself, my motor skills intact.
3 balls and no strikes on Sano with Hunter at first base, nobody out in the second, and he takes a pitch on the outside corner, fastball at 94. Now 3-1. His last healthy season, Miguel Sano, 2013 combined, A-ball, double-A, 35 home runs. Knocked in over 100 runs. Only 21 years old, Miguel Sano, with Escobar on deck. The 3-1 swing and a miss. 91 and moving down and away. And Sano was a bit tardy and off on that cut, 3-2.
I think you hear me talking about the maturity in the batter's box. And if you're the pitcher, you look in there and you see a mature hitter in his batter's box, and that's what they've done. Everything has been away from Miguel Sano in this at-bat.
See if Hunter might be moving here, 3-2. He doesn't go, and Sano takes outside, ball 4. So it didn't change. The report on Sano was we're going to pitch him away. He chased earlier. Maybe not. It was close. The 3-1 pitch. That one was well outside, and he took the walk. Third walk Sano has drawn this spring. And here is Eduardo Escobar coming off a 35 double campaign a year ago. Offensively, nice start for the Twins shortstop. 5 for 12. He's homered, knocked in 4. We'll likely see Mike Pelfrey come out and pitch the third inning. And with nobody out, Escobar behind a strike.
I'm liking everything I hear out of Escobar here in spring training. Here's a guy that deserved to play a lot last year, and he did just that. 133 games and career highs and in almost every offensive category. And now he feels whatever Molitor needs him to do, he'll do it.
The 0-1 off-speed ground ball, right side, base hit, right field. Hunter to third. He'll be held as the throw comes in from right. Now Hunter streaks home. He's going to score, throw to third base, and safe at third is a head-first sliding Miguel Sano. Now, Torrey Hunter kind of ran through the stop sign from Gene Glenn at third base. Hunter scored. The relay throw came in, and the Marlins elected to try to get Sano at third base. He got in safely. 1 is in, 2 on, nobody out. It's a 4-2 game.
Well, that message right there is to Gene Glenn from Torrey Hunter, and that is, hey, a base hit to right field. I'm going to score. I still got enough speed, but I love the base running by Sano, and that he anticipated Hunter being waved on, and he was heading to third base. So good base running by the Twins.
Escobar knocks in his 5th run. The Twins answering right back. Down 4-2, first and third, nobody out for Josmil Pinto. 0 for 2 in his spring debut yesterday as a DH after missing some time with a right quadriceps injury. Cozart from the stretch, and a breaking ball stays high, ball one. Hosmeal, 57 games. A year ago, 7 homers, 18 knocked in. Big bat. Marlins at double play depth. They'll concede the run to get 2 as Cozart checks in Escobar.
Well, most of Pinto's numbers came early in the season last year. And then all of a sudden went in a little bit of a tailspin, got sent out, and really didn't recover that offense. And that's what they're looking for out of your backup catcher.
Now the 1-0 down low. Curveball from Cozart, 2-0.
If he catches twice a week, I think what they're looking for, you can maybe kind of forward up a little defense there. And one thing that Hosmeal's working on is the base stealers. Throwing out base runners, but they like his bat. His bat's going to keep him in the lineup.
Aaron Hicks is on deck. Cozart 37 pitches in. 2 on, nobody out, 4-2 Miami. And the 2-0 is a fastball outside at 94, ball 3. Cozart a year ago came over from the Astros. A trade deadline transaction. Jake Marisnick among those that went back to Houston in that deal. 38th round pick originally by the Phillies back in 2008. And the 3-0 Pinto chops one on the ground is short, backing up, gloving Echeverria. Second one on to first. That's a double play. A run does score. No RBI, but Pinto green light 3-0, a 6-4-3 double play. Sano scores. It's a 4-3 game, but now bases empty and 2 away. So 2 down for Aaron Hicks. 3 for 10. He's knocked in 2 so far in camp. Hicks batting left-handed. Here comes Cozart. And it drops in at the knees for a strike and a change of pace. 0-1.
We were talking earlier about Hicks with that new stance, kind of a leg kick there, and it's a lot of it has to do with timing. Get that foot down in time.
And the 0-1. Good curveball, 0-2.
And the toughest thing is to get that foot down or get the timing down on an off-speed pitch. And right there, good take by Hicks. He finds himself quickly in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
If he can reach, Brian Dozier would bat next. And the 0-2, broken bat flare, shallow right center field. 3 Marlins come in, converging, and nobody gets there. Ozuna from center had the best chance with a sliding attempt, but he smothered the ball. But Hicks, a 2-out single. Twins have their 3rd hit this inning. So he is on for Brian Dozier. Say goodbye to winter in Minnesota and report to spring training on the gorgeous beaches here in Fort Myers and nearby Sanibel. Experience Florida's most natural beaches and islands at FortMyersSanibel.com. 4-3 game. Hicks stole 4 bases last year. As he leads, Brian Dozier batting in the 2nd. Here comes Cozart. The fastball is in for a strike called at 93, 0-1. Let's see if Hicks gets a chance to move here. With the leadoff man batting, should Hicks get thrown out, then Dozier would bat again to begin the 3rd. As Cozart checks on Hicks, back in with a dive. But getting back to Cozart for a moment, mentioned 38th round pick by the Phillies in 2008. He was among the prospects that were dealt to Houston in the Hunter Pence trade right near the deadline in 2011. And the Marlins believe that Cozart has a frontline makeup. Not necessarily to be a 1, but could be a 2 or a 3 with Latos, Alvarez, and also, when healthy, Jose Fernandez back this summer. 0-2 on Dozier. Leadoff home run back in the 1st inning, his first homer of the spring. As Hicks takes his lead. We're in the 2nd. Righty against righty. And the pitch. And Dozier swings at a high pitch and sends it foul behind the plate.
Just from what I'm seeing early, and I know it's only a 2nd outing here at spring training, but he seems to have to be just fine, be able to hit the corners, be able to get that breaking ball over, but he really doesn't have that put-away pitch. Something that I can go ahead and rear back, and here's an out. Here's a swing and a miss pitch. Gave up the 0-2 base hit to Aaron Hicks after had him fooled on a breaking ball.
Runner goes, and the 0-2 is low. Throw down to second base, and Hicks will be in safely. The ball rolls into center field, but Aaron will stay put on a head-first dive into second base. Now Hicks is on a knee. Let's see if he is all right. For the time being, nobody from the Twins dugout coming out to check on Hicks. He went in head first and looked like he maybe got his left hand kind of caught behind the left heel of D. Gordon, but Hicks appears to be all right. So a stolen base for Hicks.
Yeah, he does have that left wrist guard that a lot of the base runners wear these days, and it seemed like when he slid into the foot of Gordon.
And the 1-2 broken back ground ball to short to his left. Echeverria will scoop and throw out Dozier to end the inning. Twins answer back a couple of runs. On 3 hits, they leave one. After 2, it now reads Miami 4, Twins 3 on your home for Twins baseball. Pelfrey on to work the 3rd inning. We've seen Hughes and Wheeler, and now Pelfrey. He is working behind Hughes for the 2nd straight opportunity here in camp. It'll be Ozuna, Bohr, and Johnson to bat as Pelfrey misses outside. Ball pops away from Pinto. Ball 1. Pelfrey made his 2015 debut following Hughes at JetBlue Park down the street here, and Fort Myers on the 7th. 2 innings, gave up a run. It was unearned on 3 hits. And the 1-0. Bouncing ball over the mound near second to his right. Dozier, full extension, backhand pick. He throws him out on the run. And that ball left Dozier's hand. He was stationed both feet on the dirt near short. Had plenty on that throw to get Ozuna 1 out.
Tough play right there to teach a young player. That's kind of a reaction play. Read it perfectly. Saw that Ozuna runs well, and that kind of seen that with Derek Jeter, that old jump flip throw. Had enough on it.
So Dozier makes a good play. Ozuna now 1 for 14 here in the spring. As Pelfrey comes and deals to Bohr, and he swings and chops one foul near the Miami dugout. 0-1. Pelfrey 6'7", 240. Injury plagued 2014 campaign. His 5 starts before season-ending surgery. And the 0-1 is bounced again to the ground. Again, right side. Dozier charges. This time gloves near his knee. And he throws out Bohr for out number 2. And if Pelfrey's going to be on, Danny, it's going to be ground ball out after ground ball out. That's his game.
Yeah, no question about it. And he's a guy, I think, that has worked deliberately to kind of pick up his pace a little bit. But yes, I think that you're going to see a lot of ground balls, and that is because he's pitching down in the zone, and he does have good late movement.
2 down for Reed Johnson. Fielder's choice scored. A run back in a 4-run Miami second, keyed by a home run from Jeff Mathis out to left field off Phil Hughes. There's a strike on Johnson. Pelfrey, 31 years old. And here comes the 0-1. Bouncing ball over the mound. Again, right side. Dozier behind second. Same play, and he throws him out.
Putting the clinic on.
Brian Dozier and Mike Pelfrey in sync in this half inning. Dozier went to his right glove. This one right behind the second base bag. On target, off balance throw, and Dozier makes all 3 plays, and Pelfrey has a 1-2-3 third. 2.5 complete. 4-3 Miami on your home for Twins baseball. This portion of Twins baseball is brought to you by your select Heartland Chevy dealers. See your local Chevy dealer or log on to ChevyDealOnline.com today. On a warm day here in Fort Myers, Miami with a 4-3 lead. Cozart is done. Miami will go to the bullpen for the first time and bring in right-hander Nick Massett. Non-roster invitee Massett, formerly with the Reds and Rockies, briefly Rangers and White Sox. Had his best years in his big league career with Cincinnati. ERA .237 back in 2009 from Massett. Right-hander 6'5", 235. Robinson, Mauer, Vargas to bat in the home third as Robinson takes outside for ball 1. Robinson struck out his first time. Massett from the windup and the 1-0, and there's a belt high strike called on Shane. Massett works off the first base side, and the 1-1 sent foul in our direction. We're going to miss beneath our broadcast position. Well, speaking of broadcasting, good to see our colleague, the Duke, has arrived. Dick Bramer has arrived here in Southwest Florida. And the 1-2 breaking ball high on Robinson, 2-2, looking dapper per usual.
You think he really likes us, or does he just is bored and wants to hang out in here with us?
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay. He is always welcome.
4-3 Miami. And the 2-2 line foul in the first base Miami dugout.
Well, I think that we show our appreciation for the Duke, and that when we travel, we do take a portrait of Dick with us and displayed proudly here in our radio booth.
Dick set to begin his 32nd season of broadcasting Twins baseball. There's inspiration right there to bring that headshot. The 2-2 line softly right field, base hit. Nice piece of hitting there from Robinson. 2-2 count. Pitch was down and away. Didn't try to pull it. Just got the barrel out there. Knocked it to right for a leadoff single here in the home third.
Well, Corey, that's not why I travel with it. I don't think he likes the picture, and he lets us know that.
Is it the picture or the artwork that comes with the photo?
I think it's a combo. I think it's the artwork that has been displayed. You know, he comes in here and wants us to vote it up or down, and if he came in with some maybe money, it might get a little farther.
Here's Mauer batting ground ball right side over the head of Bohr, the first baseman, into right. Robinson will take third standing. Nothing Bohr could do. That ball bouncing right over his head. And the Twins have first and third. Nobody out, down by one before Vargas bats. We step out. 10 seconds for station identification from Fort Myers. This is Twins baseball. Alongside the two-time World Series champion Dan Gladden, Corey Provis with you today from the CenturyLink Sports Complex here at Fort Myers. Twins and Marlins in the home third, 4-3 game. Miami with the lead. The Twins are threatening. Robinson at third base, Mauer at first. Nobody out. Vargas bounced out to the pitcher his first time up. From the stretch, here comes Massett, and a fastball misses down and inside. Ball one. Massett trying to win a job here in camp. And the 1-0 runs away. Ball two. Now, favorable hitting conditions today on a warm and muggy afternoon. Wind blowing out to left field. Now the 2-0. Bouncing ball right side, should be two. Glove by Gordon at his chest. He feeds second one on to first for the double play. So run scores, but the Marlins turn their second double play. So bases empty, 2 outs. And Torrey Hunter will bat. Folks, some exclusive content from spring training is available on twinsbaseball.com, including behind-the-scenes access with Brian Dozier, where Brian talks about working on his approach at the plate here in 2015.
I tweaked a few things offensively that I had struggles with last year. I tweaked some this offseason to hopefully be better this year. But at the same time, can't really make too big adjustments. There's a game you got to ad-lib, you got to make adjustments. But sometimes it's better just to critique, fewer things in smaller amounts, and rather than changing a whole approach to a lot of different things.
Some good stuff there from Brian Dozier. You can see the entire 4-minute clip on MLB.com. On twinsbaseball.com. Hunter ground ball in the hole at short. Sliding stop. Solano pops to his feet. Good throw to get Hunter to end the inning. Twins get a run and a couple hits. They leave none. After 3, it's now tied. Twins 4, Marlins 4 on your home for Twins baseball. Danny upstairs, Nancy McPhee from Lee County Visitor and Convention Bureau's office, going to join us and talk some food. And for more on that and for the call over the next 3, once again, here's Danny.
Thank you, Corey. It's going to be hitter 6, 7, and 8. Echeverria, Mathis, and Kelly. Tied up 4-4. Pelfrey's second inning delivers, just misses outside and away. Nancy McPhee joins us, and we're talking about, Minnesota is known for kind of their walleye rice soup. What's considered the local dish down here?
Well, as you know, we're surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico, so locals here love to take advantage of our pink gold shrimp and stone crab, which you won't find anywhere else but the Gulf Coast of Florida.
Pelfrey falling behind 2 balls and no strikes. Big right-hander Roxon delivers. Ground ball up the middle, fielded by Pelfrey. It's stuck in his glove. He's going to walk over and throw his glove to Maurer, and Maurer catches the ball and his glove for the out. Pelfrey thought about, hey, where's the ball? And he saw that it was stuck in between a couple of fingers of the glove. Did the right thing, kind of ran it halfway over there and then took his glove off. And Maurer catching the whole glove and baseball. Nice play. Good heads-up play there by Pelfrey. Do most of the restaurants down here offer what you talk about, that pink shrimp and all that?
Yes, many of them are on the locally sourced bandwagon, supporting sustainable fisheries. So more and more you're finding them take advantage of what's right in their backyard. We have an extensive shrimp fleet here on Fort Myers Beach that delivers for them.
Is there a certain time of the year, or is it something that's seasonal, better at a certain time?
Shrimp can be year-round. They may have to stray over to the Texas coast for some brown shrimp if the pinks aren't running. All I know is shrimping is not good during the full moon. That's all. That's the legend I know.
Full moon's not good for a lot of things. The strike to Mathis as he hit a 3-run homer his last time up. And this one's fisted foul over the net, and now he's in a hole 0-2.
And Nancy, we're nearing the end of the stone crab season, right?
Yes.
Is it that I've heard forever that stone crabs are best in months with the letter R. Is that the right way to go about it?
Yes, October through May is peak stone crab season.
Stone crabs are awfully, awfully good. They are a delicacy down here. Not cheap, but really good.
Pitches high, and now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Obviously going to some of these restaurants which we frequent quite often, and I know that Corey's a big crab guy, but sometimes you better get there early.
Yeah.
Some of the lines for some of the restaurants here can take you a little while to get in.
Absolutely, especially this time of year. That's why I encourage all of our fans out your way to come in the spring and summer when there are not as many lines.
Tapper foul, and he stays alive, still in a hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've had Mr. Mann in here talking about fishing and stuff. Is this something, can you go out and catch your own shrimp like that and maybe bring it back in and have a restaurant cook it up for you?
Well, you can catch fish and do that, and perhaps lobster. Shrimping takes a lot of extra equipment, but there are several restaurants in Lee County that will cook your catch. So you should refer to our website, and we're including that information as we in the future.
Strike 3 as Mathis looks at a breaking ball, a good one by Pelfrey. What is that website? Do you have that in case they can?
FortMyers-Sanibel.com.
Do you have a favorite dish that you like to?
I love shrimp, and this weekend is our 57th annual Shrimp Festival on Fort Myers Beach. Thousands of people will stand in line for a shrimp roll.
And when you say the Fort Myers Beach, is that near where the spring breakers are, or is that?
Yep, spring breakers are certainly here right now, and we have probably 30 to 40 shrimp boats that dock right there at Fort Myers Beach, so you can actually see where they are and tour the shrimping packing plant. And yes, it's going to be very, very busy down there this weekend.
What do you think, Corey?
Aren't we
road trip?
I think we're working this weekend, Danny.
Well, it starts tomorrow, right?
Yes, it does.
Sunday, maybe Sunday after the game, or tomorrow. Yeah, we're not working tomorrow. I think you're onto something.
We should get out there early and stuff and beat the traffic. As Kelly bats, 2 outs, nobody on. Kelly walked his first time up, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Pelfrey might be stretched out a little bit here, and second outing to 3 innings and a pitch. Strike 3 looking, boy. Good outing by Mike Pelfrey. Nancy, thanks a lot for stopping by and joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate you giving us the update and all the tips. So 3 up, 3 down for Mike Pelfrey and the Minnesota Twins. 3.5 complete. Tied up 4-4. You're listening to Twins Baseball. New weekend Warrior Pack. Choose between either Friday, Saturday, or Sundays as a 13-game ticket package. Puts you in some of the best seats at Target Field. All you have to do is visit twinsbaseball.com, become one of the weekend Warriors. Miguel Sano getting a start at third base. Had a nice at-bat, walked first time up. Skies this one to center field on the first pitch. In the ballpark, Ozuna fighting the sun a little bit, now drifts in and puts that one away. So 1 pitch, 1 out. And here comes Eduardo Escobar to bat. Escobar, RBI single. His first time up. Dozier, bottom of the first, led the ball game off with a home run. RBI single by Escobar. The other run coming, Sano on a double play ball hit by Josmil Pinto. The other run, Kenny Vargas hit into a double play as Escobar steps out, but the ball's in there for a strike. Mike Redmond managing the Miami Marlins. And everybody kind of knew that he had a great chance to be a big league manager from his playing days with Minnesota. And a weak ground to second baseman. Escobar out number 2, but entering his 3rd season. So if there's any added pressure on Redmond in that he's got the highest paid player, and Giancarlo Stanton inked to a $325 million contract.
He's got a better team, I think, by far, and they improved. I mean, many great strides on the field last year and in the win column from his first year. But he's got a better team, no doubt, here in 2015.
I think it's going to come down to the starters, and like you said, depending on if they can get Jose Fernandez back and rather quickly from Tommy John as Josmil Pinto takes it on the outside corner. There's a strike. But I just look at their offense. Saltalamacchia, he signed a 3-year deal. That was his first year last year. And really, he struggled in throwing base runners out. So he's going to have to clean that up a little bit, but still a switch hitter that is a veteran behind the plate. Martin Prada, they got from the Yankees, who used to be with the Diamondbacks. Little weak pop-up, shallow center. Out goes the shortstop, and he won't get there as the ball lands just over the head of Echeverria and in front of Ozuna, the center fielder. So it's a bloop 2-out base hit for Pinto.
Well, the Marlins last year, 77 wins, were near the bottom of the National League in home runs, near the bottom in stolen bases. So maybe Morris can add some more pop to their lineup. And speed-wise, you get Gordon 64 on the bases. You can turn that team-wide stat around in one season.
They were talking about Gordon. I guess they were knocking him on his defense. Really not a premier Gold Glove style second baseman, but still. Remember, he was at shortstop with the Dodgers, so now coming over a little bit easier position at second. And here's Hicks to bat, takes it low and away, ball one. So I just think defensively they've kind of shored it up a little bit. Wasn't McGee their third baseman last year?
McGee.
And he had a breakout offensive season. And they just go in a different direction this year. Proud of going to be the third baseman, but I just like what they have. They're building on, like you said, 77 wins. Payroll still very low, even though that big contract signed by Stanton, which I understand is really kind of loaded back in. So going to get some years out of him, and has an out clause in that, I guess, halfway through it. But runner at first. Hicks bats. Hicks with a bloop single his first time up. Takes it down and away, and now hitters count, 2 balls and no strikes. I just think that with Redmond, he's got to be excited with what he has with this club here. And I think one of the guys to keep an eye on, I think, is that Dan Herron. Thought he was going to retire, traded to Miami. He's from San Diego. Made it known that he'd like to be closer to home. And there's a 4-pitch walk to Hicks. So Massett came on and got the first 2 hitters out easily. And then a little bloop single, and now a 4-pitch walk. And here's Dozier to bat.
Another new addition we have yet to discuss, Ichiro Suzuki.
Yes.
He'll be a fourth outfielder with Miami, has about 154, I think 154, 155 until he gets to 3,000 big league hits.
Do you think that's one of those signs, though, that they're looking to him get closer to 3,000 hits than then kind of maybe boost attendance? Because I think, no question, Miami low, if not last in attendance last year. So sometimes they'll sign a guy just to kind of get that 3,000 hit. I mean, in this case, Ichiro Suzuki to kind of boost attendance a little bit.
And in years past, you'd say, okay, he needs about 150 hits for Ichiro. That's no big deal. But, for a guy that was over 200 hits annually earlier in his career, it was about 130 last year.
Those days are over, and there's a pitch outside, and now falling behind. 2 balls and no strikes. Massett falling behind, dangerous hitter in Dozier.
But is he going to get enough at bats? Because that's a really good outfield that the Marlins will throw. If Yelich, Ozuna stand and stay healthy and produce, that's a really good outfield, offensively and defensively.
2-0 on the way. Popped up, shallow right field. Kelly coming on. And plenty of time to get there and puts that one away. So Massett gives up a hit, strands 2, 4 complete. Here at CenturyLink Sports Complex, all knotted up 4-4. We'll be back here listening to Twins Baseball. tie here in the top of the 5th inning. Century League Sports Complex. Gorgeous afternoon. A little steamy, a little windy. But abundance of sunshine as Solano, third baseman, shows bunt, pulls it back as Pelfrey, third inning of relief, delivers a fastball that's in there for a strike. Last year, Solano, 111 ball games with Miami. Hit 3 home runs, 28 driven in. And a little nubber off the end of the bat. And Dozier been busy here this afternoon. Routine for him. And he'll retire Solano out number 1. And here is D. Gordon. Look at Gordon's numbers last year. Pretty good. Not surprised, though, that the Dodgers moving him to the Marlins. They picked up Rollins with the Philadelphia Phillies and also Kendrick of the Angels to be the shortstop second baseman combo for the Dodgers. Slow curve, good pitch. As Gordon had an RBI single his last time up. But Gordon, this guy scored 92 runs last year for the Dodgers, and 64. Tries a bunt there and bunts it foul, and he's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Played 148 ball games, 64 stolen bases, just 2 home runs, 34 driven in. Did have a batting average of 289. But he did also strike out 107 times. If Pelfrey can finish him off here, 1 out, top of the 5th. Righty Pelfrey delivers way outside. There's something about playing in Miami. I just think that with that ballpark that they have, and I know with ownership, some people feel that they tricked the fan base out there and the citizens to kind of build them this new ballpark and then gutted the team. Boy, they had Burley, Reyes, a whole bunch of good players, and then all of a sudden, one thing that the Marlins don't do is they don't give their players a no-trade contract. So he was able, once they fell out of contention, Ozzie Guillen was the manager that year. And things just unraveled early, and Guillen was let go. Players were traded. As Gordon bats 2-2. A ground ball, 1 hopper right to the shortstop. Escobar, nice backhand play, and he's going to retire a Speedy Gordon. And here's Yelich to bat. That's been a good outing for Pelfrey. We've seen in the past where some of the guys, and we talked to Irvin Santana earlier in the dugout, and his last outing went 2 innings but finished up in the bullpen, and he was indicating that they want him to get to that pitch mark. And I guess at the time that was 30 as Yelich slices that into left center field. He runs fairly well. He's going to try for 2. Robinson's throw just off the mark a little bit. And he slides in with a 2-out double. So a good piece of hitting by Yelich keeps him alive for Ozuna. And I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. We did not see Hughes go down and throw any extra after his inning in 2/3, and Pelfrey in the 3rd inning here. Pitch count at 27, so I think they're trying to get these guys to that 30 pitch mark. Ozuna has a chance here to give the Marlins a lead here, as there's a breaking ball outside. Nice stop by Hosmel. Ozuna looks to play center field for the Marlins, and everyday guy, 153 ball games last year. Has the power, 23 home runs, 85 driven in. And here's the pitch, ground ball in the hole at short. Dive stop by Escobar, comes up, 1 hops to Mauer, and not in time. Boy, nice play. That ball gets by Escobar. That's an RBI. Boy, Escobar, nice diving stop to his right. Got a good jump on the ball. And then quickly came up and threw it in the grass. And I think that's on AstroTurf. That's probably going to pick up some speed. A nice play by Maurer to keep that ball in front of him.
Escobar's not shy. If you ask him, what is your favorite position to play? And he says, without any hesitation, clearly short. But to your point, Danny, yes, Ozuna's saved. But he saved a run right there by keeping that ball on the infield. And Yelich right now remains at third base.
You know, I just think if you talk to the guys, they like to, I don't know, see the game from the left side of the diamond. And you talk to him about when he would play some second base, a little uncomfortable over there in that the range to his left, he's comfortable going up the middle, and nice play right there in the hole at short. So Pelfrey trying to get out of this inning. They've given up a double and now an infield base hit. Curve misses down and in. Bohr's the batter. 1 for 2. Swings and pops this one up near the Twins bullpen. Excuse me.
You okay?
Yeah, where'd that come from?
Is that water? You sure?
Right. What are you saying?
I'm just asking if that's water. There's no label on it, so I don't know what. It's clear.
The label came off.
Liquid.
It was frozen.
Okay.
1 ball, 1 strike. First and third. Missed down and in. And again, Pinto been busy here this afternoon behind the plate. Justin Bohr, first baseman, and big-bodied kid. Slide open stance. Stands upright. Holds the hands near his chest. And just missed inside. That's a pitch, I think, mid-season that Pelfrey's going to start to get. That little running fastball back on the inside corner. Lefty Brian Dunsing starting to loosen for the Twins. And a ground ball should be it. Shortstop Escobar, he'll go the long way. On target to retire Bourne. So 2 hits, 2 runners left, 5.5 in the books here at CenturyLink Sports Complex. Tied up 4-4. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Back here at CenturyLink Sports Complex, solid 3 innings for Mike Pelfrey. Just gave up 2 hits, and those 2 hits with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. New pitcher for the Miami Marlins, left-hander Chris Narveson. Last time he pitched Milwaukee Brewers. And he'll be facing It'll be Shane Robinson, Joe Mauer, Kenny Vargas tied up 4-4. Twins got one in the bottom of the first. Leadoff home run by Dozier. And then the Marlins answered with 4 off of Phil Hughes. Had 4 runs on 3 hits. Hughes did walk 1. Hughes did strike out 3. Struck out the side to start this ball game. And here's Robinson. Bloop single his last time up. Takes it high and tight. So ball 1. Dunsink continues to loosen for the Twins. Mauer due up next. And there's a strike, catches the outside corner. Well, the Marlins World Series winners in 1997, 2003. And missed outside and low in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Keep talking about the division. Washington Nationals, boy, they are stockpiled with pitching. And it looks like they are kind of the team to beat. Well stroked left field and misplayed now by the left fielder, Christian Yelich. And that's going to go for a double. Well stroked, but needed to be caught. Have a bad route. And at this ballpark, sometimes tough to see. Right off the bat. Not sure if that's Yelich out there or not. Could be Tyler Colvin that has come in. And welcome to Grapefruit League action. And here's Mauer as he gets a nice hand. And takes a good fastball that drops in there for a strike.
Yeah, Marlins making a bunch of defensive changes. You mentioned Colvin Dandy now in left field. Cole Gillespie takes over in right. Donovan Solano goes from third to short. Derek Dietrich is the new third baseman. And a few more after this pitch.
So nobody out. Go ahead and run at second base. And Shane Robinson. Curve. Nice block by Mathis. Catcher still in there.
Avery Romero is the new second baseman. And Don Kelly goes from right to first. So still Mathis behind the plate. Is that still Ozuna in center?
I hope so. Way he's standing out there, it sure looks like him. His uniform does look dirty. He'll check the runner at second. Mauer takes it low and away. Mauer bats 2-1, nobody out. Inside, arches off the plate. Joe this afternoon struck out his first time up, single to right. Last time up, bats here with a hitter's count 3-1. And a tapper off his foot out in front of home plate, and it'll run the count 3-2. Now, one thing I've noticed with Mauer, and that he's hit a few balls early in spring, everything was locked in, the base hit, the double down the left field line, hit into a double play, trying to me, it looks like with a runner at first base, trying to use that hole. He got a base hit with a runner at first his first time up. Got it over the first baseman's head, and here trying to get that runner over to third by pulling the ball, hitting it to the right side, and then again taps it foul. I believe later in the ballgame, Mauer comes out of the game. We're going to have Mauer mic'd up down in the Twins dugout. Here's a 3-2, and he missed outside, and Mauer takes the walk. So a leadoff double, a walk, and here's Kenny Vargas. It looks like Chris Herman will come out of the Twins dugout, and he will pinch run for Mauer. I think Herman, you look at the roster for the Twins, they are certain guys. I think that the Twins are really going to give maybe a little more playing time here at the big league level. Herman's going to be one of those guys. I think they want to find out where he fits in, mostly as a bench player, but can play multiple positions. Runs well. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. Vargas hit into a 4-6-3 double play his last time up. Impressed last year with 53 games with a big club. And this one just missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And now batting from what Tom Bernansky says is his natural side, the right side.
Well, you talk to switch hitters and you always kind of find out what is your natural side, and that probably means if it's his right side, it maybe works more from the left side and taking BP. Swung on a miss, might have chased, and now on the hole 1-2. You know, a lot of guys curious to know if he will switch also model bat. Sometimes guys from their natural side will maybe swing a bigger bat, heavier bat than maybe the left side. Ball in the dirt, nice block. Mathis keeping that ball in front of him. No chance for Shane Robinson to advance to third. With Mathis, veteran back there, and he didn't try to catch it. Just wearing the tools of ignorance. The job is just to kind of turn into a fire hydrant and stand in front of it. And here's the 2-2 on the way. Fouled off. Hughes started an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 4 runs. Had 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, struck out the side. Jason Wheeler came on, retired the 3rd out. And then Mike Pelfrey, solid 3 innings. Gave up 2 hits, and that was 2 hits after there was 2 outs in the 5th. Off speed, swung and a miss, fooled there. So Vargas first out, and here's Torrey Hunter. Hunter still gets a nice hand every time, and boy, just his smile, infectious that how he carries himself, not only in the dugout but also in the clubhouse. Talking to Torrey, things are dying down a little bit for him as to everybody wanting a little piece of him here and there. Pops it up foul territory. First baseman drifts in foul territory, and he's going to put that one away, and it's Don Kelly. So Hunter swings at the first pitch and pops it up. And I think we saw that a lot, and Torrey recognized that that might happen first year back in spring training, that, you know, a photo shoot here, an interview here, need some photos, need you to talk to a group here. And he was one of those guys that came time to leave early. He was leaving when the coaches left late in the afternoon. Here's Sano. Boy, I like this matchup here. You got a left-hander against Sano. Officially 0 for 1. Skies this one to center field. High in the air. Center fielder shading his eyes. Shortstop, and it's going to be the center fielder calling for it and putting away. Leadoff double goes by the wayside. Twins strand 2, 5 complete. Still tied up 4-4. We'll be back. You're listening to Twins Baseball. University of Minnesota night on May 1st. Versus the White Sox. Find out how to see the ballgame. Receive a limited edition Maroon and Gold Twins cap by visiting twinsbaseball.com/U of M. That's twinsbaseball.com/U of M. Brian Dunsing on for the Minnesota Twins. Reed Johnson is the batter. First pitch, strike one. Reed Johnson, DH. He is 0 for 2. Dunsing right back, and the ball in the dirt, blocked by the new Twins catcher, Eric Fryer. We got some changes. Eddie Rosario in left. Danny Ortiz in right field. Arrhenius Diaz at second base. Chris Herman stayed in the ballgame. Pinch ran for Joe Mauer at first. Aker Meneses is the new third baseman. Eric Fryer again is catching. And Dunsing, the new pitcher. A 1-1 strike. And this one way high. And now we also joined in the dugout by Joe Mauer down there. A nice seat down there.
Yeah, got a pretty good view right now.
A little warm today for you guys?
A little bit. It's been like that the last few days, but, we're not complaining.
Nobody cares anyway. We care about the heat.
Exactly.
They're back in the Twin Cities.
Exactly.
And Dunsing delivers. This one's pulled foul. I wanted to ask you, earlier in the ballgame, we saw that Dozier putting on a little bit of a display at second base. 3 fine defensive plays. But last year, your first year going out there at first base from behind the plate, was that an adjustment as to find out where Dozier and how much range he has?
Yeah, absolutely, among a lot of other things. But, Brian covers a lot of ground out there. And, I think he got a lot of credit last year for hitting some home runs, but he can play some defense, and he saved us a lot of runs over the course of the season.
There's the 2-2, and again, fisted foul. And how's your transformation from last year? Do you feel more comfortable as to what you need to do or where you need to be at first base now?
Yeah, absolutely. Totally different feeling coming into this spring training, especially on the defensive side. And, I feel a lot more comfortable out there and kind of know what I need to do to get ready. So it's been going good.
Johnson bats, 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 on a pitch inside. He didn't like it. Was the biggest adjustment for you as to finding out where I needed to go for cutoffs and relays and double cuts, things like that, ball down the right field line?
Different things. I would say positioning, just trying to be in the right spot, pitch by pitch, and, studying guys from a different angle. I pretty much knew a lot of the hitters just from catching, but, where the first baseman needs to get, position was a little different, but, everything was new for me last year. I played a couple games before last season, and it was kind of go out there and be an athlete and do your best, but it's my job now.
Dietrich is the batter right now, and he swings and fouls this one straight back.
Hey, Joe, have you spoken with Molitor about the lineup at all this year, about where you might be suited best, 2, 3, any other spot there with Molitor you guys have discussed?
No, not really. I'm just happy to be in the lineup. He'll figure it out. We got some options, though. We're a lot deeper this year than we were last year, and offensively we didn't do so bad last year. So we have some options, which is always a good thing.
A little weak ground ball to the second baseman, and Diaz fields that cleanly and retires Dietrich for out number 2.
Now, we saw a play earlier in this game with Echeverria batting, hit that comebacker to Pelfrey. The ball got stuck in his glove. As you're waiting for the ball, at what point do you say, wait a minute, he's going to throw the ball and the glove my way?
Well, I saw a look in Pelfrey's face, kind of almost scared me off the base. But, it's just a heads-up play, and, he came charging at me, and he had to throw it pretty quick because it was a bang-bang play. But, you don't see that too often. And actually, I was talking to Fieldy, the umpire over there, and he said that's the second time he's seen it. He's been around a long time. So that doesn't happen often, and I'm glad it happened here in spring instead of the regular season.
Well, that's an easy inning for Dunsing. And at 1, 2, 3, Joe, thanks a lot for spending some time with us. Tell your father he still owes me some money.
Thanks, guys. Absolutely. I'll get on him for you.
You got it.
All
Joe
right.
Mauer joining us. And 3 up, 3 down, 5.5 complete. Still 4-4 tie on your home for Twins baseball. Twins baseball brought to you by the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel. Find your island, find warm white sand beaches, and find the moments that always end too soon but become memories forever. Just visit FortMyersSanibel.com. Again, gorgeous afternoon here in South Florida as Escobar turns around. He'll bat right-handed for the first time here this afternoon. Escobar getting the start at shortstop, has a base hit RBI, grounded out last time up. Narveson, the left-hander, third pitcher for the Miami Marlins here this afternoon as Escobar peels it right back into the netting. Boy, Escobar is one of those guys, loves to play baseball, played winter ball this year, came into camp in shape. As this one's popped up, Valdespin, the new right fielder, Cole Gillespie in right field as he squeezes that one and puts it away. And here's Eric Fryer getting his first at bat. So with one out, bases empty, 4-4 tie. And Narveson delivers, catches the outside corner for a strike. Aaron Hicks due up next. Bottom of 6, hit down the left field line. This could be trouble if it stays fair, and it just goes foul. Well, the berm not as full as we've used to seeing it, but still some fans taking sunshine in out there in left field. Came to the ballpark yesterday, and Dick Bramer, I guess, flew in yesterday. We sat up here for a couple innings, but I asked him, I said, you want to head out there and we can get some sun? And he goes, no, I'm going to the pool. I said, okay, that's a good idea. And fouled off right side. But that berm, I think that, as a kid going out to the game, be able to roll down the hill and the somersaults that you can do out there.
Now, the berm concept, it's so common in Arizona.
Yes,
at all the spring training parks. It seems like it's the norm out there.
And a tapper foul stays alive.
Here you have the berm, but the Pirates, when they renovated McKechnie Field with the boardwalk from foul pole to foul pole, Twins have that now second year. We've seen the boardwalk in action. Now, I think there's some great spots to take in a game, and if you're going to come down for a few games, take advantage of that.
Yes.
To see a game from the berm, from the boardwalk, from one of the party decks.
That's what's so fan-friendly about this ballpark now is Fryer takes it outside and now 1-2, and that you can walk around different phases of this ballpark and be able to enjoy the ball game from different views. Narveson delivers curve line drive right back up the middle. Good piece of hitting for Fryer. So the Twins go ahead and run on 4-4 tie. Here's Aaron Hicks. When you talk about the I'm not going to call it a tiki bar. There is a little establishment down the left field, kind of above the Twins bullpen, that you can sit there in the shade, but also in right field they have that little tiki bar, which I'm going to argue as to is not a tiki bar. Looks more like a pole barn to me. If Fryer and Hicks see if they do something here, hit and run maybe. Missed outside, not missed by much.
It's missing the straw. I mean, isn't that the number one rule? If you're going to have a tiki bar, you
got to have a grass hut, right?
Yeah, you can't have concrete just visible up top. You have to have the hut.
Yes, even if you threw one or two little palm blades up there and pretend. Pitch inside and tight to Hicks. Takes a look. Gene Glenn going through some signs at third base. Well, this is a count, maybe hit and run. 2 balls and no strikes, hoping that he throws the ball over the plate. Not running. Here's the pitch. Missed. Oh, got the outside corner. Looking at the monitor here, that might have missed a little bit, but I think it was called based on the way Hicks went after that ball. And a pitch fouled back, kind of quick pitched him there. And now a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Marlins. 4 runs, Twins with 9 hits. Twins have had base runners on in every inning. Phil Hughes started for Minnesota, an inning and 2/3. Jason Wheeler, 1/3 of an inning. Pelfrey solid 3. Dunsing, boy, been lights out. He makes it look easy. And a pitch to Hicks. Nice cut, fouled it back. We talk about Hicks and that new leg kick there and the importance of getting that foot down. And some hitting coaches, if a guy is struggling a little bit, they will try to eliminate that leg kick. And here in Hicks's case, they've kind of incorporated him to try the leg kick. And this one's tapped foul, stays alive.
And the pass was a stride that Hicks would utilize at the plate, but you know, where he's at in his career, why not try something new? This time of year, this is the time to do that.
You know, there's usually, when Vavra was the hitting coach, you heard a lot of the toe tap, where you would tap your toe and then stride. And a pitch outside, didn't miss by much. Run to count full, 3-2. See if Fryer's off and running now. And, you know, it's a matter of your comfort zone as a hitter. Do you feel comfortable doing that? And sometimes with that leg kick, depending on how high that leg kick is. Fryer not running. Here's the pitch to base hit to right field. Good piece of hitting by Hicks. So the Twins have something going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Diaz will be the batter.
Had a joke with, or kind of joking with, Aaron Hicks in the dugout during BP. I said, what do you think? 3 hits today? He said, nope, 3 quality at-bats. And that was not the same answer you'd get from Aaron if you posed that same question to him 2 years ago. He's been on 3 times, 2 singles, a walk, here through 6 innings.
I think that's kind of the answer you're looking for, and that is, you're not so much the results right now. You're looking for the quality at bats. And right there, a good quality at bat. Saw a lot of pitches and went the other way with it and drove it well. As Diaz takes a little breaking ball that misses down and in. And there's a strike. Yeah, spring training, it's all about having fun. Come to the ballpark, get to interact with the fans. Pitch high and tight, arches the back of Diaz, and now 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, we show up here, and all the way from parking your car to come in, meet the volunteers that are helping out in front. Have they had the grapefruit giveaway yet? Or after the ball game, they give you a big sack of grapefruits yet?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Have you seen it? Okay, Kyle's saying that they have. That was a count of 3-1 to Diaz.
You had some guests today, right? You had some friends bring up some new apparel?
Yeah, so I got my buddies from South Dakota that always bring me that Sturgis T-shirt. And a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch evens it up. Or now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, it's Ray and Jonah Provacek. And they're from Winter, South Dakota. And they always bring me a shirt for the 2015 season. So the 75th anniversary is coming up this year. And I've already got my T-shirt.
And you're bringing Derek Jeter, right?
Derek Jeter was invited. I'm not sure now if Derek, if the invitation is there. Would love to have him come out there and participate in some of the festivities out there. But I'm not going to go to him. He's going to have to come to me. Fouled off right side. Diaz hanging tough.
For those that don't know the history of this, when Jeter and the Yankees were in town at Target Field for a 4-game series, and Derek was kind enough to give you a one-on-one interview. And I'm sure all the interviews that Jeter did last year, you were probably the only one that invited him to join you.
Yes.
At Sturgis.
On behalf of the Twins, we were going to, not necessarily fly him out there, but we'll help get you out there. Strike 3, boy, Diaz jumped back off the plate thinking the ball was inside, and it was catching the inside corner. There's out number 2. It's a little cut fastball. Looks like it's going to be inside. Good pitch to hit. Here's Eddie Rosario, his first at bat. I've been out there before, and, Hulk Hogan has been out there before. One of the I shouldn't say strangest, because at the time it was the Worm. Dennis Rodman came out there. And he participated in some of the activities out there as Rosario line drive, base hit right back up the middle. Fryer being waved around. Here comes the throw to the plate. Hits off the mound and kicks up. And that's going to allow Fryer to score with the go-ahead run. Twins lead 5-4. So Eddie Rosario, line drive, base hit, RBI. Good base running not only by Rosario, but also Hicks. Hicks ends up at third base. Rosario to second base. Boy, that's a play there that if the throw goes to third, Hicks is going to be out by a good 10 feet. The play by the center fielder, Valdesman, he had to come home. And here's Herman, came on a pinch run for Mauer in the 5th, takes it on the inside corner. There's a strike.
I'm sure you're asked throughout spring training about who is there one player that doesn't garner all the headlines that you want to see. And I think Danny Santana at shortstop was a popular go-to here. But Eddie Rosario, Danny, for me, is becoming one that I want to see play. The numbers weren't great last year during the season, the suspension, but he had a good fall league and now is on the roster. And he's going to get a chance to play the outfield here, the corner spots, maybe some center field.
And I think the fact that he does have some options to go down. Do they want Eddie Rosario to play every day? Check swing foul. Herman not having a good at bat.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of things would have to go in a strange direction for him to leave camp with the team. But
yes.
I just think to watch and see him play quite a bit, get a good read as to what his skill set is now, what it can improve on moving forward.
Yeah, I think right now that they want him to be an everyday player right now, that he profiles to be an everyday player somewhere. As Herman, good cut there and fouls it back. So with that being said, I don't think he's going to crack the starting lineup if we go north. So therefore, hey, you got some at-bats. You got to see what it was like at big league camp. Should be hungry to get back into big leagues and go down there and play every day and do well. And to me, you play well like that, you put the pressure on the people ahead of you to have to make that decision. There's a line drive, one hop, nice play by Don Kelly. And he gets to his feet, race to the base to retire Chris Herman. Nice at bat there. Twins will pick up 1 run on 3 hits. They leave 2. New score after 6. Twins lead 5-4. Corey Probus will be back. And you're listening to Twins Baseball.
A 2-out RBI single from Eddie Rosario. Twins have a 5-4 lead before the 7th begins. Step out 10 seconds for station. Identification from Fort Myers. This is Twins baseball. The pitcher for the Twins is right-hander Blaine Boyer, non-roster invitee, trying to win a job here in camp. Don Kelly leads off. Twins by 1. And here comes Boyer, and he deals a pitch over but low, ball 1. As this half inning was about to begin, Boyer had the ball in his hand. And Don Kelly was in the batter's box and looking at the new timing clock in center field. About 24 seconds were left. And the 1-0 is a strike called on a fastball that's even, 1 ball, 1 strike. And then with about, I think it was just under 20, 19, 18, Boyer let the ball go, and that's part of the new rule. You can throw the ball 20 seconds. It doesn't have to be 0. You can throw the ball 20 seconds or fewer if you want to release. And the 1-1. There's a strike. Running fastball away that time, 1-2.
Now they're trying to speed the ball game up. Every spring training complex now has a time clock, and this one happens to be in almost straightaway center field, a little bit off next to the eye drop in the back. But again, in between innings, that clock starts as that last out is made. They want that pitcher, they want the catcher to throw the ball down to second base with 30 seconds left.
Line to right, that's going to drop for a hit, shy of Danny Ortiz. So Don Kelly, leadoff single, second time he's been out. A walk, a strikeout, run scored. Tying run is on. Let's see if he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. And it appears that's exactly what Mike Redmond will do. So Don Kelly will leave. Leadoff man is on. Nobody out for Donovan Solano in a 5-4 game.
I believe it's Austin Nola.
Sounds good to me.
That's what I'm going with.
Nola at first, and now Solano began the game at third. Now it's short, 0 for 2 today. Twins are at double play depth. Here comes Boyer from the stretch, and the right-hander deals a fastball outside for a ball. I was reading, speaking of the new timing rules and trying to pick up pace of play. Not too surprising that the umpire that was involved was Joe West, but I think it was a Cardinals spring training game. I can't recall the team they were playing, but he was just kind of letting the players know and letting the managers know that there were certain guys that were taking too long in the batter's box, that were not adhering to the new rules. And, you know, in spring training in the month of April, no fines will be levied, anything like that, just warnings, and players, and I think everybody getting acclimated with the new rule. But I think it was good that Joe West let the managers know. Matheny, and again, I don't recall who the Cardinals were playing. And the 1-0 is outside. These are things, as an umpire, we're looking at, that come May, we may start to rule, and some fines may follow.
You know, Corey, and the fact that it's Joe West that is kind of orchestrating that, one of the senior, if not the senior umpire, and he's a guy that is not shy about, you know, if there's a new rule, he's going to enforce it.
Boyer behind 2-0. Twins lead by 1, and the pitch, ground ball cued fouled on the first base side.
We had somebody up here the other day, and they were talking about it should start, and it is starting in the minor league, so I think that you program the minor leaguers to kind of keep 1 foot in the batter's box and take the signs from your third base coach with 1 foot in and kind of speed the tempo. By the time they get up here, they've already been acclimated to the new rules in the minor leagues.
2 balls and a strike on Solano. Nola at first base, nobody out. And the pitch, line to right center field. Ortiz over, won't get it. Base hit, cuts it off deep in the alley. But Nola takes third, and the Marlins have runners at the corners, nobody out. And the top of the order coming up. The Arizona Fall League, just this past fall, tried an in-game pitch clock. In between pitches, and a running clock would be almost like a shot clock in basketball behind home plate. And when they added up all the games, and they found that utilizing this in-game pitch clock, games were 10 minutes shorter than they were the year before. Now, for that to happen in the big leagues, obviously the union would have to back it and approve that, and I don't know if we'll get there.
No, I hope we don't get there. You know, I remember when instant replays first started out, and we were kind of, let's let this play out. They got the bugs out, and I think everybody's in on it now.
There's Avery Romero batting for the first time as Boyer checks on Solano back in with the dive. And with instant replays, some plays that now are reviewable that weren't last year. Tag plays at third base. Did the runner leave too early? Did he make contact with the base? Did he ever get back to truly tag up? You could not review that in the past. You can this year. Here comes Boyer. Line to short and past Escobar. Base hit left field. That'll tie the game. Nola scores down to second base Solano. So Romero, game-tying RBI single, 5-5 game, 2 on, still nobody out. And Tyler Colvin will bat for the first time today.
The other thing I think that's going to be interesting to watch, and that is the managers now do not have to come out of the dugout, walk to the umpire, and ask for that replay. And that was kind of a stall tactic, I think. Now they can stay in the dugout, and I'm just wondering where's the time going to come from as to, hey, wait while I look at the replay, if they're going to allow that.
There's Tyler Colvin batting. Former Cub, Giant, and Rocky as Boyer spins off and stares the runner back to second. To your point, in the past, if a manager wanted to challenge a play, he would go out to that respective base and visit with that umpire that made the call.
And
this year, you don't have to do that
And
anymore.
it would be a slow walk out there, because then they would get in position to where they'd be looking in the dugout, and the bench coach would either give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if they wanted the review.
5-5 game as Colvin sends one foul off the screen.
And that could take 35 to 40 seconds and maybe sometimes a little bit longer. And the umpires were nice about, you know, just the general conversation, waiting, and then, okay, I want to review it, or nope, I don't want to review it. What's going to happen now? Are they just going to ask the umpire to, hey, hold up for a minute?
I think it's all going to be communicated through the home plate umpire, is what I read. So even though the call may be at second base, it's going to be relayed to the umpire that's closest to where the manager is stationed, thus behind the plate. And the 0-1 pulled in the ground foul past first.
Okay, and if I'm the manager, then I'm going to say to the umpire, can you hold on a minute?
Hold on a bit.
We're going to wait to see if it's going to be if we want it reviewed.
That's my understanding, is that, you know, Molitor would get the attention of the home plate umpire, say, hey, this is a play we want to look at. Play will be halted. And hopefully everything can be in sync and reviewed quickly by the replay advisor for each team. 0-2 on Colvin. Big spot here for Boyer. Twins pen is quiet. Game tied at 5. 2 on, nobody out. From the stretch, and the 0-2 pulled to first. It might be two. Gloved by Herman. Will look to second. Has no throw there. But the job done by Colvin in advancing the runners. So Solano to third. Down to second goes Romero. Second and third, one out. Game tied at 5. And this will be Jordani Valdespin, the former Met batting.
Corey, don't you see some strategy involved in that, and therefore the pitcher hurries up and gets on the mound and wants to throw the ball while the hitter maybe is out, and you're supposed to keep one foot in the batter's box? Yeah, Does the hitter step out, adjust his gloves, and take his time that way? Because I just think of football, when they hurry up and line up at the line of scrimmage before that coach can throw that red flag out there. They try to run that next play.
Game tied at 5. Infield up. Valdespin batting. And the pitch, fastball runs outside. Ball 1. Some other plays, though, I thought in the game that may be reviewed. You know, outfield traps, you can review those plays, but say it's a sinking liner on the infield, you still cannot review that play if an infielder trapped the ball or not. That's a play that's in front of the umpires and thus not reviewable. And the 1-0, fastball outside corner at 92 for a strike.
The other one was the ball down the line. If it goes over third base, they couldn't ask for a review of that. Whereas if it landed past the umpire, then they could ask for a review.
Yeah, those ground balls that are pulled over the bag, can't review those. But if you pull a liner down the left to right field line and it lands behind that umpire, you can review that. Infield stays up, 1 out. And the 1-1 poked in the air, slicing foul left side. That's going to reach the Twins bullpen. And now it's 1-2. Was a runner out of the baseline with the different angles you can look at. That's still not reviewable. And I understand there's some judgment that's involved in those calls, but can't review that. Cole Gillespie's on deck. Let's see if Boyer can work out of it. Solano at third, Romero at second. 1 out. 5-5 game in the 7th. Now Boyer steps out. Fryer calls time, and Fryer and Boyer will chat.
The other one I think that they should look at is, that base runner when he goes down first base, there's that extra chalk line, and they say that the runner should be inside that. Sometimes when they throw the ball and it hits the runner in the back, they will call him automatically out. I think that's something that, because if you're running out of the right-handed batter's box, the angle to get to first base, it's going to take you a little while to get back in line. But if you're running right on the chalk line, I think you should be okay.
Fryer back behind the plate. The kick and the 1-2 chop to short. Charging home and scoring will be the runner from third, as Escobar's only play is to first. And he throws out Valdespin. But Solano scores. Down to third goes Romero. And the Marlins take a 6-5 lead. I said Escobar who made that play. That's now Jorge Polanco at short. We'll credit Valdespin with the RBI ground out. And the Marlins lead by 1. Polanco now at short. Byron Buxton takes over in center. So runner at third, 2 outs. And here is Gillespie batting for the first time, and he's behind a fastball strike of the knees, 0-1. When replay was introduced last year in a larger scale, it's been around for looking at home run balls in prior years, but certainly a larger scale last year, that it was going to take maybe 3-4 years to truly fine-tune. And the 0-1. There's a slider in for a strike, 0-2, and that still may be the case. I think what we see this year, it may be revamped and tweaked next year, maybe even one more time.
But don't you think it was pretty successful last year?
I had no problem with it.
I don't either. I think that what it did, that I kind of miss, and that is some of the arguments with with the manager, and then less ejections. Sometimes fans enjoy that.
0-2 on Gillespie. And the pitch is strike 3 called at the letters. Kind of arched his back and a slider that came inside. So Gillespie strikes out to end the inning, but not before the Marlins score twice and take the lead. Time to stretch. In for Myers. New score reads Miami 6, Twins 5. On your home, Twin Baseball.
Keep your garden.
Changes for the Marlins. Justin Bohr, who was at first base, is now at short. And Derek Dietrich moves from third to first. And the new third baseman, we saw him run a moment ago. That is Nola. Austin Nola's at third base. The new pitcher, former Yankee Preston Claiborne, is on here in the home half of the 7th inning. Twins are batting down 6-5. Here is Tyler Grimes, batting for the first time today in the DH spot that was occupied by Vargas, who went 0 for 3 today. Grimes, non-roster invitee here in camp, waits for the 1-0, and he checks his swing and took outside for ball 2. Terry Ryan spent some time talking about Grimes during his pregame media session. 5'11", 196 pounds, 5th-round pick. 2011 first-year player draft. He swings and sends one foul right side. Last year, here in Fort Myers, hit .232, but and Terry Ryan called Grimes over the winter and said, hey, we're going to bring you to camp as a non-roster invitee. Grimes said, let me call you back. And Terry Ryan was like, when's the last time that's happened? You don't get that kind of response too often. Now, Terry did finish up that story, and the 2-1 is popped up, foul near the third base dugout. Catcher over chasing, has no play. And now it's 2-2, and what Terry was saying, and I'm sure there's two sides to it, and so I'm curious to get Tyler's response, was that maybe Tyler felt, you know what, I'm not sure if I'm ready, if I have the makeup to be in camp just yet. He's 24 years old, but he let Terry know, saying, yep, I'm good to go. And when he reported down here, he said, I'm fine. I can't wait to play and compete.
I hope that wasn't his answer. I'm hoping he had a vacation somewhere in Italy and he wasn't going to get back in time. Something like that, rather than say, well, I'm not sure.
Fastball just missed down low from Claiborne, 3-2. But Terry said, you can see this as a former player. If you get invited to camp, you're just great. I'm starting to pack right now. Can't wait to be there.
But you play this game to get in a position to be invited.
Full count. And the 3-2 outside. He walked him. Leadoff walk to Grimes. Catcher in the Twins system. And he takes his walk to begin the 7th. Twins are down by 1. And there's Danny Ortiz batting for the first time today. Phil Hughes made his second start of the spring, inning and 2/3, 4 runs. Through 45 pitches, Hughes was hoping for a deeper outing today, no doubt. Struck out the side to begin the game. Big blow came on a 3-run home run from Jeff Mathis. That turned out to be a 4-run second as Ortiz takes a strike called. Fastball at 92. Mike Pelfrey, 3 innings. Scoreless relief, a couple of hits, struck out 2. Offensively, Brian Dozier leadoff home run. Torrey Hunter singled and scored a run. Comes Claiborne from the stretch and the 0-1 to Ortiz. Big cut, swings and misses, 0-2. Escobar RBI single. At times, though, as you look back on this game, the Twins were poised to put up some lopsided run totals. A couple of double play balls hurt the Twins and really took them out of big, what could have been offensive innings. Pinto hit one in the second. Vargas hit one in the third. Another check and back in with the dive is Grimes. In the 5th inning, first 2 guys reached. Leadoff double, Shane Robinson. Mauer walked. But that was it. As Nick Masson retired the next 3 batters. Vargas struck out. Hunter popped out. Sano fly to center. Again, Grimes back in with a dive. Now, hopefully you got up and moved with the 7th inning stretch today. Brought to you by Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine. From aspiring youth athletes to the pros, Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine is changing your game. Call today to make your appointment at Mayo Clinic Square in Minneapolis. 0-2 on Danny Ortiz. As again, Grimes back in with a dive. This one, though, is thrown away by the pitcher. And Grimes pops to his feet, takes second base. Well, Claiborne awfully concerned about Grimes at first base. Still 1 base last year. Yes, the tying run, nobody out, but 0-2 count on the batter.
And you got to get over there. And Dietrich really not known to be a first baseman, but looked like he kind of shied away from the Grimes sliding back into first base.
So the throwing error on Claiborne puts the tying run at second base. And now you're hoping for that productive out at the least from Ortiz here to get Grimes over to third base. And here comes the 0-2. He swings and lofts one foul behind the plate. It's like Aker Meneses on deck. .6-5 Miami in the seventh. Grimes at second, nobody out. And the 0-2 breaking ball bounce foul near the Marlins first base dugout. I mentioned the Arizona spring training facilities earlier. They're going to have a celebrity partaking in some of the spring training games out there today. Actor, comedian Will Ferrell, the funniest guys on this planet, is going to play 9 positions today for a variety of teams in the Cactus League. The 0-2 is sent foul. He's doing this all for charity.
I understand he's going to play 9 different positions, 9 different teams. They are actually going to move some of the games back to where he can be helicoptered from ballpark to ballpark.
And for some of those teams, I'm not sure his schedule, but they're not all that far apart anyway. But
right.
Understandable. Traffic. 0-2 on Ortiz. And the pitch. Bouncing ball right side. Good job by Ortiz. Taking third, Grimes. First baseman Dietrich takes it to the bag unassisted. But there is the productive out. And Ortiz will get some high fives from his coaching staff and teammates inside the third base dugout.
Well, I assume he's going to start somewhere. He was going to catch for one of the teams, I think, start off, and then go over, put the uniform on, and maybe pitch for the other club, get on a helicopter, go to another ballpark, play first base for one team, and the other team. I think every team he's going to actually play for, I believe, out there.
Did you read where the helicopter is going to pick him up? Is that part of it? It's not going to, like, come on the center field. I would. Everybody clear out and say, okay, Will, get on the helicopter and go. That's going to be pretty neat. One out, infield up, tying run at third base, Aker Meneses. He's the batter, and he swings and lines one softly right field. That's going to tie the game. Base hit. Meneses knocks in Grimes, the walk, and the throwing error. Ortiz got him over. Meneses knocks him in. Game tied at 6. Pitch up in the zone. Meneses with the pitch away. Knocked it to right field.
Strong enough to fist it out there in the shallow right field. Good piece of hitting. I like the aggressiveness early.
Now the young Twins shortstop, Jorge Polanco. Got a chance to see him briefly. The big league club last year. Really an emergency. Is what promoted a guy all the way from A-ball to the big leagues. And with one out, Polanco takes a strike. Ken Herbeck did that, of course. Class A Visalia, and he made his debut against the Yankees. How about that jump? We were talking about the jump may be the biggest from A-ball to double A.
Yeah.
How about A-ball straight to the big leagues?
Straight to the big leagues at Yankee Stadium.
The 0-2 is popped up. Back is short. Chasing is Bohr. And the former first baseman runs it down in shallow left near the line for the second out. So 2 down for Eric Fryer. Looks like Aaron Thompson warming in the Twins bullpen. Left-hander. Should Fryer reach? Buxton would bat next. Game tied at 6. Fryer singled his first time up as Claiborne misses down low for ball 1. Some news around the Central. White Sox announced yesterday that Chris Sale will not start opening day. However, Robin Ventura is hoping that he'll be good to go for the Sunday game against the Twins to wrap up that weekend set in Chicago on April 12th. Here's the 1-0. Fryer swings and pops it up. Shallow right center. Gillespie in. The center fielder Valdespin over, and Valdespin makes the grab to end the inning. Twins, though, take advantage of a walk and a throwing error to tie the game. After 7, it now reads Twins 6, Miami 6 on your home for Twins baseball. Dan Gladden and Kyle Hammer, Corey Provis reporting today from the CenturyLink Sports Complex. Mark Jadowski, Andrew Halverson, and others leading our crew back inside our studios at Target Field. 8th inning, game tied at 6. New pitcher indeed, left-hander Aaron Thompson. At the DH, Reed Johnson takes high for ball 1. Good to have the entire broadcast team back. Chris Atterbury will be joining us later on in the spring. We'll have a full pregame, full postgame here from Paul Molitor as well later on here in March. Johnson swings and sends one to left center. Wynn carrying this ball a bit. Buxton, though, on the warning track, makes the catch. Sunglasses on. Maybe a step and a half from the wall in left center field. But that ball got up. Wynn gave it some extra carry. But Buxton makes the catch. Johnson's out, number 1. And now Dietrich. Dietrich bounced out to the second baseman. Diaz back in the 6th. Facing Aaron Thompson. Competing with guys like Caleb Theobar and others for another lefty in the Twins bullpen, joining Dunsing. And as Thompson hits the outside corner with a strike. And the 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2. Aaron Thompson, he had some spot time with the Twins last year, earned his way with his performance in the minor leagues. And the 0-2, he got him. Dietrich gone, 3 pitches. Off speed, offering that time from Thompson. So 2 outs. I'm going to bring up JT Realmuto, catching prospect with the Marlins. In fact, Baseball America tabbing this guy as the second best prospect in their system. Last year, when Jared Saltalamacchia missed some time with a concussion, the Marlins called up this guy from Double-A Jacksonville to make his big league debut. Now 11 games with the big league club last year. 7 hits and 29 at-bats. Takes a pitch inside, ball 1. Figures to be in the mix in the minor leagues, though, this year, at least to start with. And the 1-0 from Thompson is there for a strike. Breaking ball that time from Aaron. Thompson, 28 years old, was born in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now makes his home in Houston. And the 1-1, a down low, scooped and saved by Fryer. Thompson last year, while he was at AAA Rochester, held left-handed batters to a 200 average. Samuel DeDuno was claimed off waivers in late August by Houston. Thompson took his spot on the roster. Now the 2-1. Fastball runs inside. Ball 3. 2 outs. 8th inning. Marlins batting. Game tied at 6. JT Realmuto batting for Miami. And the 3-1. Pulled on the ground. Foul. Just fouled on the third base line past a diving Anchor Meneses. And that'll run it full 3-2. I mentioned that the White Sox announcing yesterday that Sale will not be ready opening day, but not ruling out that Sunday game against the Twins. We'll see if Chicago goes with Samardzija or Jose Quintana, depending on how things line up for Ventura's team. (3-2) knocked foul, right side. Twins will open up in Detroit for 3 and then on to Chicago for the home opener on April 13th against the defending AL champion Kansas City Royals. The 3-2, flared to right, shallow near the line, slicing, dropping, and landing foul.
You take much stock in the spring training stats and standings, maybe?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. I see the Kansas City's playing well. They started off 8-1, but they seem to always win out there in Cactus League action.
I heard Joe Madden say this years ago with Tampa Bay. Ideally, he likes his teams to be about 500.
Yep, I heard that too.
And that makes a lot of sense. You know, if you go in and you have this great record, popped up foul behind the plate, that's a souvenir. You go in saying, okay, we played great. Maybe we don't have any questions. Maybe we have our position set. We're good to go. On the flip side, if you don't win anything, you begin the season, boy, we got a lot of problems. We thought maybe we had this vacancy or this spot to fill, but maybe now, because we didn't win or didn't score, maybe we have others. Ground ball to short. Polanco with the scoop, set, and he throws him out to end the inning. Thompson, 1, 2, 3, 8th, 7.5 complete. Game tied 6-6 on your home for Twins baseball. First at bat today for Byron Buxton. For his first hit in the young Grapefruit League season, 0 for 4, a couple of walks. And he will be facing a new pitcher for Miami, Andrew McKirahan. Left-hander is on. He's been in the minor league system with the Cubs in prior years. Double-A Tennessee last year, 21 games, ERA 3.45 as Buxton is behind a fastball strike called 0-1. Buxton 0 for 4, has walked twice. From the stretch, and the pitch down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a bender. Diaz on deck. Now the 1-1. Buxton checked his swing and took down low, ball 2. Another topic that came up during Terry Ryan's session today was about the guy batting right now. Not about performance, just about his makeup and how more comfortable he is now just speaking with the media. And the 2-1 is flared foul right side, 2-2. You know, I know you interviewed him a couple years ago at Twins Fest, and he's reserved. There's no doubt about that, but he is opening up. I think the more interviews he does, the more mature he gets.
Yeah, no question about it. I think they understand a little bit better that you're not really trying to ambush him with a particular question.
The 2-2 up and in, ball 3. I think he's ready also to talk about play on the field, about well, essentially it was a lost 2014 season with the injuries to the wrist, to the finger, the concussion scare when he collided with Kwasnicka in his only game at Double-A last year. The 3-2 is pop foul. I think this guy would love to talk about how did I do on the field during games. Let's shift the focus from injuries to actual performance.
Also, I think you got to get a little comfort zone. You've got to get, I think, a little bit of a relationship with a player before they kind of will feel comfortable. A lot of these guys uncomfortable when you put a camera in their face.
A 3-2, Buxton swings and pops it up shallow center. The shortstop bore out. It'll be called off by Valdesmean. He came in from center, made the catch with 3 Marlin defenders around. Buxton flies out, 1 down.
You know, it's something that you're not used to doing, and I know that as a young player, they usually sometimes will send kids off to a little bit of a 2-week or a seminar to where they can kind of learn and teach them here's what happens, and they teach them about the media and the press and the beat writers that follow you around and the expectations of, you know, after a ball game there might be a guy in front of your locker.
Pitch outside for a ball to Diaz. Game tied at 6 here in the home 8th. Valdesmean shallow in center and shading Diaz a bit towards left center. And the 1-0 drips and moves outside for a ball, 2-0.
As much as these guys are shy maybe about early in their careers about, you know, doing some interviews and talking about themselves in a particular game or a particular situation, I guarantee you they go home and watch ESPN and can't wait to see their highlights.
The 2-0 sent foul off the screen. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. 2 balls and 1 strike on Diaz. Batting from the right side. Here it comes, and a fastball misses high, ball 3. No broadcast tomorrow. We are back with you, radio only, on Saturday, as we will make the drive across the state. Jupiter, the Twins, and the Cardinals. And the 3-1 is inside, ball 4. Diaz, the 1-out walk. Marlins share their spring training facility with the Cardinals. I think I've only been there for Marlins games. I think Cardinals games, every game must be a sellout, right? When
there's a big boost in attendance with the Cardinals, no question.
And the Cardinals come here on Sunday. But Ricky Nolasco will start that game Saturday. St. Louis has yet to tab their starter. Sunday, Twins host the Cardinals. It'll be Kyle Gibson. And with 1 out, here is Rosario. RBI single his first time up as he takes a pitch outside for a ball. Lefty against lefty. As McCurahan checks on the runner. Diaz back in safely at first. Twins and Pirates tomorrow. No broadcast that we will be doing in Bradenton. Irvin Santana, whom we spoke with earlier today. It was a good visit with him. He will make his second start. And the 1-0. Rosario takes high, ball 2.
You figured out which route you're going to go when you head over to Jupiter? Are you going to take the scenic Alligator Alley Highway 75?
Haven't we had this debate in the past? I know you and our famed engineer, Mr. Hammer, always get in just great discussions about geography and about the most efficient routes.
About the 2-mile difference that it is?
Here's the 2-0 ground ball. Right side, going to find the hole. Base hit right field. Diaz touches second, round second. He'll take third easily. Rosario 2 for 2. And the Twins have runners at the corners, 1 out. And Chris Herman a chance to put the Twins on top here in the 8th inning. There's 2 ways to go. You can take I-75 right, which I guess if you look at the map, that seems to be out of the way, but it's all interstate. Or you can go right across, which is not all highway.
You go north a little bit. I think it's Highway 29. You cut across, you hit the cane fields and farmland. There's the Everglades are out there. Belglade, the prisons are out there.
Fun.
Yeah. You know what's cool is they always the crop dusters are always flying and spraying, and seeing those things fly real close to the ground.
Marlins a double play depth, 1 out. Herman a chance, and he takes a strike call. Here's a spot for Chris Herman trying to win that job behind the plate to give his team the lead.
Lake Okeechobee, I can show you how to put a worm on a hook.
Are there going to be other people around?
You want to?
Well, I don't know if I do.
Okay.
Cameras out there, all cell phones, and people take pictures. And
who cares?
I want to make sure that the locks don't change at home, so I have to kind of do it with some
courage. So you're saying your wife does not want you to put a worm on a hook?
No, she just thinks that you should be able to do it by now. Swing and a miss, and Herman behind 0-2.
How proud would you be coming home saying, hey, look what I did?
I was extended an offer, by the way. And I saw this individual while taking my son out for a walk yesterday to go fishing in the Gulf later this spring. So we're going to try to make that happen. That sounds fun. What do you think of that? You think that's too much right away out of the gate?
No, but I got a text message from our good buddy Jack saying keep you off the water. But I think you might enjoy it.
And the 0-2 is inside near the back left knee. Now, I'm excited. Late last year, we were talking about ice fishing, and there's a certain member of the Twins clubhouse who is supposed to have this palatial setup on Lake Minnetonka. And for 4 straight years, I've gotten a verbal invite, and again, never actually happened over the winter. The 1-2 dips outside, a slider, 2-2 on Herman. So I'm sure this gentleman is listening as we speak inside the clubhouse. And I don't want to reveal his name, but he has an important job in the clubhouse, and we'll leave it at that. But he's 0 for 4. So thanks, Hot Rod. Appreciate it.
I know you go with him, you're going to catch some fish.
And if you don't, you get yelled at. If you lose one, you get yelled at.
Well, let's see if you can just get your line in the water first.
The 2-2 hit in the air to left, slicing near the line, should be deep enough. Colvin will catch it in fair territory, tagging and scoring from third, and the Twins lead 7-6. Diaz scores, Herman gets it done, the sac fly RBI, and the Twins lead by 1 here in the 8th inning. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and Herman gets the job done, knocking in Diaz, holding at first Rosario. So 7-6 game, 2 outs. And here comes Grimes batting for the second time today. Grimes walked and scored back in the 7th after a throwing error by Preston Claiborne allowed him to move up 90 feet. Twins have 13 hits to Miami's 9. And the pitch, ground ball to short. Charging Bohr, and his low throw is dug out on the back end by Dietrich, and that ends the inning, but not before the Twins score a run. On a hit, they leave one. Ninth inning coming up. Twins have a chance for the win. It now reads Twins 7, Miami 6 on your home for Twins baseball. Chance for Mark Hamburger to pick up a save here in the ninth inning. Twins lead 7-6 as Avery Nola bats for Miami. Top of the ninth inning. This is Hamburger's second appearance in the Grapefruit League, third overall. Ground ball to short. Polanco, clean pick to his left, and he throws him out, 1 out. Get a chance. Patrick Royce, longtime columnist for the Star Tribune, had a great story, I believe in today's paper, maybe yesterday's, about Hamburger. Great profile piece. Give that a read if you can from Mr. Royce. As Nola grounds out, 1 down. Here is Justin Bohr. Nope, this is not Bohr. This is Justin Bone. Justin Bone is now batting. Maybe Bone has been the shortstop. I heard Bohr, but maybe Bone. So I apologize for that. Sorry, Danny.
You're all right. We got it figured out.
And the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good slider from Hamburger. That time 0-2. Hamburger off the first base side. Started 6 games at Rochester last year. The 0-2, he got him. Bone is gone on strikes. Slider. He strikes out swinging, 2 outs. And before Romero bats, Danny, we're nearing the top of the hour. What does that mean?
That means we're going to step out 10 seconds. We are going to allow our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Strike called on Avery Romero. 7-6 Twins. Twins trying to improve to 4-3. Marlins would fall to 5-3. These two teams will meet again next weekend in Jupiter. And the 0-1 is their first strike. 0-2. The Hamburgers come in just pounding that strike zone. A guy that has a chance to win a job here in camp in the bullpen. Righty against righty. The 0-2 outside. Fastball missing at 92. Hamburger began camp, long hair, but he's trimmed it up. The 1-2, he got him. Slider. Romero strikes out, and this one is over.
Twins beat the Marlins 7-6. We'll talk more about this one next on your home for Twins baseball.